What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with just a few Destiny 2 updates, bits of news, roundups from Bungie, and some Destiny New Year's related stuff, sort of. So, of course, it's been pretty quiet on the news front over the holiday season, but we have a couple of teasers for updates that'll be coming in February alongside Heresy. We'll also discuss Destiny 2 being a platinum top seller on Steam for 2024, regardless of some of the other dramas that have gone on. And there's some other bits of discussion for the video today. So if you do enjoy it, a rating below really helps us out. Now though, let's get into it. Firstly, DMG offered a reminder just a day or so ago. The next TWID will be on January 9th, so that'll be next week after Act 3 drops. The next drop for Revenant is on the 7th of January. Bungie had said they'll have details to share as they get closer to release, so I'm guessing if that's gonna happen, it'll either be before the weekend or on Monday or something like that. So I'll have to keep you up to date with that as we get additional details. Another quick update from Bungie here, and players were complaining about the Mantle of Battle Harmony and the solar damage issue with that. It's been a thing for a little while at this point, but Bungie have said we're currently working on a fix for the issue planned for the next update. We don't know exactly which update they're referring to. Of course, there'll be an update with Revenant on the 7th of January, then we get another sandbox update on the 14th, so it's going to be in one of those next couple of updates, presumably, but as always, I will keep you guys posted. Otherwise though, Grenada Jake shared his Trials of Osiris mission is complete with 5,000 flawless runs and 4,000 flawless carries, which is absolutely wild, so congrats for that. But DMG added, who knows what changes may come to Trials during episode Heresy, more details soon. So obviously something they'll be discussing in the very near future ahead of the February update. Bungie have previously shared some details about Trials of Osiris rework plans, which included adding new aesthetic rewards to Trials, including a new armor set for each class, as well as a new ship, Sparrow, Ghost, and Emblem. And just the other day we had that leak that Destiny Bulletin shared for some future armor pieces, one of them which appears to be Trials themed, so who knows, maybe this is stuff that we'll see with that update in February. Otherwise, there was also some stasis armor, which more than likely would be an Eververse thing, just like we've seen with some of the other elements that they've added. But away from that, Bungie had indicated they wanted to make the Challenger pool less of an all-or-nothing experience that focuses on flawless or bust. They also wanted to improve the prestige of flawless aesthetic rewards, with things like armor glows or emblems. Plus, a couple of months back, Bungie had also recognised that for Trials to succeed, there needs to be something for everyone, and we want to bring additional players into Trials by offering an alternative experience, more like Iron Banner, in terms of the loot chase. And the focus here is on making it rewarding to play, and not necessarily reliant almost entirely on wins, and to attract players who otherwise avoid the current iteration of Trials entirely because of the perceived high-stakes nature. They'd added that they also wanted to update Dominion to be more in line with the modern sandbox, and examples are that they're experimenting with making the zone appear later in each round and increasing the time it takes to capture the zone, among other potential changes. So we'll have to see what they say on that front. They had also said they were making big changes to the way they organise and schedule playlists, rebuilding the skill tracking system, and making some substantial changes to the way rank is rewarded in the competitive playlist, as well as what they refer to as more substantial Crucible updates planned for 2025. So how much of that will be for Heresy, we'll just have to wait and find out. Obviously, quite a few Trials changes on the way, but in terms of the rest of Crucible, Bungie certainly need to look at fun ways to make the game more enjoyable in that respect. So I'd love to hear your thoughts below. Another upcoming content thing here, and Destiny Bulletin shared, cel-shaded cosmetics, including a new shader, are soon coming to Destiny 2, and it would appear this will actually be part of Game to Give for the year. So they point out we have our first hints at the upcoming cosmetics tied to the Game to Give campaign. One standout item is a cel-shaded shader called Offset, which appears to create a bold comic-style effect on armor and weapons. And Crips shared a preview right here of what that shader should look like in the game, so quite an interesting thing. And as players have pointed out, it's almost Borderlands style graphics right here. Plus they say if you've seen the Caped Cruiser Sparrow in the Collections tab, you've already had a sneak peek at the aesthetic. And this Sparrow basically has the same shader on it, so this is the actual in-game render right here, and it gives us an idea of what the effect will be like on weapons, armor, and indeed other cosmetics. Plus, as Bulletin shared, there'll be an emblem associated to this called Dark Hero. But as we've seen, Game to Give cosmetic items and earning them is typically linked to a donation to the Bungie Foundation for one of their charitable efforts. These items in particular have come by way of data mined, so Bungie haven't officially announced it yet, but we know that Game to Give will run between January 23rd and February 9th. So we can anticipate an official announcement for this in the new year, and of course then we'll get info on pricing and all of that kind of stuff, but another quick mention with some interesting cosmetics coming down the road. On to a final few mentions here though. Destiny Bulletin also shared, Destiny 2 has continued its streak as a platinum top seller on Steam's Best of 2024 list, which measures the year's top games by gross revenues. So Destiny has done it once again for the Final Shape year. Obviously, Final Shape was the biggest component in that, and the assumption is that this is a mixture of revenue generated by selling expansions and episodes, as well as microtransactions from Eververse and all that kind of stuff. But Destiny has been in that position for 5 years straight since the move over to Steam in 2019. So very interesting. Demonstrates Destiny has still been very successful on the most part over the last year. Obviously what Bungie do with those profits and whether they'll be in a similar position in future years has yet to be seen. And yeah, we have to recognize that the player count currently is at an all-time low for Destiny 2. So we're going to have to hear about a lot of the right stuff in the months to come. And otherwise, over the holiday period, there was additional reporting on Bungie C-suite restructuring, various executives, including a couple that have left the company in the past couple of months. And it suggests a trend where it's possible we're going to continue to see that based on what we know about Bungie and Sony's relationship. And by extension, a lot of people are discussing the facts that 2025 is the year, which is very much make or break for Destiny, but potentially Bungie as well, given that Marathon is just around the corner, either in 2025 or 2026. And later on in that timeline seems more likely to me personally. Further indications of that include things like Bungie currently hiring for Marathon developers, such as gameplay analysts, and Marathon Bulletin here shared they must have a minimum of 200 plus hours in Escape from Tarkov or a similar title, and actively play ranked modes in COD Warzone, Apex, and Rainbow Six Siege. So Bungie are looking for very experienced players of these kinds of games as a member of the gameplay analysis team, essentially to provide important feedback on in-progress experiences and representing the player perspective in the ongoing development work for designers. So more than likely, there's still a lot of content that perhaps has to be made for Marathon, but also a lot of fine-tuning, and obviously more delays for Bungie at the moment for this new title. And indeed, if that affects Destiny content still in the Frontiers era that we're going to experience this year, yeah, it's very much the case that Bungie have a lot on the line in the months to come. So we're going to have to see how all of that works out. But for today, guys, that is what we have to discuss in this video. I'll keep you posted when Bungie give us the details on Act 3, and of course next week when we get that new content drop, particularly stuff like the Exotic Mission, which really is the highlight for this next bit of content starting next Tuesday. So keep it locked and loaded here on the channel if you want to check it out. Otherwise, if you've enjoyed the video, a rating really does help us out, and feel free to share any of your thoughts in the comment section as always. Otherwise though, cheers for watching, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.